Welcome to the cockpit. My name's Ryan and I'll be your pilot tonight. I am flying solo tonight. So we're going to do call-ins starting at 8:30 instead of our normal 9 o'clock. I'll give you guys a little bit of my thoughts on the game, and then you guys can call in and give me your thoughts and tell me where you guys think this team should be going and the highs and lows and everything in between. So I guess we will start off with that. So the New York Jets lose to the Atlanta Falcons 20-27 in a not so competitive game. Some very questionable decisions made on the defensive side of the ball, combined with Zach Wilson not playing the way we really kind of need him to play in order to have a successful game and successful season. So Zach Wilson ends up going like 19 of 32, 197 yards, no touchdowns and interception. The interception was a bad throw. The accuracy was really in question, especially on some of those small, short routes. You have, Crowder in the right flat, unable to get him the ball. He's wide open. Had a bunch of green field out in front of him. No go. He threw behind Corey Davis. He missed Griffin running across the right. And he threw the really bad pass to 𝐚𝐭𝐦 that wound up being intercepted for his one turnover. Now, there were some bright spots. I don't want to doom and gloom everyone into thinking that we are, awful and we can't see any progression either way. I was pretty happy with the running game, even though it was not a huge success by any stretch of the imagination. I think we had to get away from the running game a little bit, but I do like Michael Carter. I think he's going to be a legit weapon on this team, especially out of the backfield. I think if he can work on his pass blocking, prevent some of the, hands to the face or some of the whiffs on some of the blitz pickup, I think he's going to be just fine. The defensive side, really like our linebackers. I'm a big fan of CJ Mosley. I'm a big fan of Quincy Williams. Dude hits like a damn sledgehammer. Absolutely awesome. I'm excited to get Jarrad Davis back, hopefully after the bye for the Patriot game. I know Robert Saleh was saying he's hoping to get Davis and May back for that game. Secondary-wise, you could definitely tell the Jets missed having Marcus May in there. No field general on the back end really hurt us, especially on that deep Pitts play. Both linebackers wound up playing, like not even looking at Pitts as he just ran right past him. So that the two people that wound up tackling Pitts were the corners on either side of the defense. So really not great. not fantastic. Not the way you'd want to go into this. Secondary-wise from the corners, I wasn't too upset. I would have liked a better performance overall. I think not being able to get the quarterback, I want to say we had no sacks this week after having 7 last week. So I think that was a big issue as to why they had as much yardage as they did for not having their top 2 wide receivers in. The Falcons were definitely a beatable team, and we beat ourselves, and we didn't give ourselves a shot. The 2 most mind-numbing plays, I think, for all of us, is Bryce Huff covering Hayden Hurst and John Franklin Myers covering Kyle Pitts. Under no circumstances should either one of those guys be covering a tight end. Now, I did see something from Robert Saleh saying we've called those plays in the past. When they work, people may not notice it. You're called a genius. When they don't work, you look like an idiot. So that could certainly be part of what we saw. Maybe we've just missed this in the past, and teams are finally starting to pick up on it. But either way, having someone like a Pitts that is the equivalent of like a really, really good wide receiver, like he could be wide receiver 1 on a lot of teams. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and that's a clear mismatch. As soon as Matt Ryan, a seasoned vet, can sniff it out. Now, maybe you get away with that with some younger quarterbacks, someone like a Mac Jones. Maybe Teddy Bridgewater hadn't seen it prior, or I don't know. It feels like not the smartest move. And we got burnt on it twice, especially after Ulbrich said he had some inside data on the Atlanta Falcons. Well, clearly he left it at Florham Park because we did not really sniff a whole lot this entire game. I think the field goal at the end, while it's nice, it makes it, within a one-score game. When you go back and look at the box scores at the end of the season, you'll say, hey, Jets only lost by one score in this game. But it felt like a lot more. Like, this game never really felt close. Really from the beginning of the game, like from that first roughing the passer call on Quincy Williams, which was complete horseshit. There's absolutely no way that should have been called. I think once that call was made, the tide of the, I shouldn't say the tide of the game, but it felt like that's what continued the rest of the game. If that makes any sort of sense. I hate that call. It shouldn't be made. And then we lose on third down consistently. You have the play to Zacchaeus, or however you pronounce his name, on 3rd and 13. You have the play to Cordero Patterson, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, whatever it was, to basically ice the game. And then just missing on some third down opportunities and penalties. The Nathan Shepard pass interference, or not pass interference, sorry, roughing the passer, was just inexcusable. There's no reason for him to go low on Matt Ryan there. It's not like someone was pushed into him. If he's tripping over his own feet, that's on him. Like, dude, it's a penalty. You're not going to get to him. You're not going to affect the ball flight, really. So he just adds an extra 15 yards onto it. I don't love it. But I'm going to want to hear from you guys in just 15 minutes time. I'm going to take a look at the chat. I want to see what you guys are kind of saying over there. I can pull it up so I can pull it up on the screen. Joe S. says, Shepard leads the league in roughing the passer. I did not know that. That's abysmal. He really should not be seeing a lot of playing time. Let's see. FM, usually a pretty salty individual, but maybe he's more of a realist. Who knows? Let's see what he says. Yes, the trades have been good by Douglas, but that's it. He gave John Franklin Myers over $10 million a year, McGovern, Griffin, Van Roten, and Fant, big contracts. Dude has been an utter embarrassment. I don't know if I would call him an utter embarrassment. I like John Franklin Myers. I like Quincy Williams. They're both waiver wire pickups. I think signing McGovern after he was a top 10 center is the right move to make. I think Van Roten was never meant to really be a long-term starter. I think that's why his money is reflected the way it is. Fant was supposed to be the starting right tackle, but in the event you were unable to get a good left tackle, I think he had the experience there, and we're seeing it right now. I have no issue with the Fant contract. Van Roten, as much as he stinks, we don't really have anyone else at that spot yet. It's tough to rebuild an offensive line that fast. We've been through two off seasons where he could add talent. And I would say this next off season is probably the completion of that work. You figure you get the left tackle, you got the left guard. I think they thought they had the center in McGovern. And even then, he played well at the end of last year. So I'm a little perplexed as to how that's kind of working out. Maybe he kind of irons that out as the year goes on. If we wind up going into the draft and then you wind up taking a center early, then maybe McGovern kicks over to right guard and you kind of tackle two fish with one signing there or one selection. Griffin, tight end wise, look, we need a tight end. That's really what it is. John Franklin Myers, I have no problem paying $10 million a year for on that extension, because I think when you pay a 25-year-old, I think there's still plenty of room for growth. And I think a lot of people are pretty hyped up on him. Now, the NFL salary cap is due to explode in the next, I believe it's 2023 is when that kicks in. The new TV contract. They signed a 10-year, $100 billion deal. So I think salary cap wise for John Franklin Myers, it's really not that bad, especially because you're considering him, what is he, the 20th ranked edge rusher or 20th highest paid edge rusher. it's really not that bad. And that's on an average annual salary. Like when you look at it, the high numbers really come like year 5, and you can get out of it after next year. So I don't know why you'd be as upset with that. MSPN Sports Talk says thoughts on Mims. I liked seeing him out there. I thought the 2 receptions were nice. I think when you have someone like Zach Wilson who might be having some accuracy issues, having a large catch radius like Denzel Mims is something that shouldn't be a bad thing. Now, if he is legitimately not playing well in practice and he's buried on the depth chart, if he is the bad wide receiver, I'm kind of okay with that considering what we've had at wide receiver the last few years. That being said, I am super frustrated about this. I will say that I think Joe Douglas's draft in 2020, there's probably a little bit of an asterisk that needs to be placed on it, because I think you're building, while you're taking players that you hope can fit any scheme, I think there's very much a thought process in building the way Adam Gase would have wanted it. Like if you're drafting players for a different regime, when you have Adam Gase, you're probably making the wrong selections. I do think I do think Becton is scheme proof. I do think Mims can be scheme proof. I think we are not using him correctly. But I do think this scheme does look for crisp route runners, which is what Elijah Moore is, which is what Jamison Crowder is, which is what Corey Davis is. So I think there's, a little bit of an issue there. I do think James Morgan probably doesn't fit. I think Pirine probably doesn't fit. Zuniga's a bust. I can call that, what it is. Davis is a little bit of an incomplete for me right now. Clark, I'm going to call a bust just because we haven't seen him play, but really we don't know what his talent level is. Who am I missing in there? Bryce Hall looks legit. And then Braden Mann looks legit, when healthy. So I think his eye for talent's pretty good. But thoughts on Mims? Sorry, I'm kind of going all over the place here. I like Mims, and I hope we see more of it. Let's see. Billy SBC says it's week 5, and we already have half the wins of last year. That's an improvement already. Glass half full, my friend Billy. I like that. I do think we are going to win more games as we move forward, because I think there's a lot of winnable, possibly games, depending on how we play. Like if we play how we played against the Titans, then I think those games are a little more winnable. I think we do have to have Zach Wilson play more in script as opposed to off script. He's great off script, but if he can't do the things that we need him to do within the pocket and kind of on timing, then I think we might have a little bit more of an issue. But I think the Patriots are a beatable team. I think the Colts can be beatable. I do think when they're at their best, they are definitely better than us. What else we got? We got Miami twice. We got Buffalo twice. I think the last game against Buffalo, they may be resting starters, so I think we could wind up winning that game. The Jaguars, I think, are beatable. I'm losing who else we got on there. What else is on there? Bengals. I'm going to the Bengals game now. I don't know if the Bengals are beatable. They look pretty good. I would say we would have to play much better than we've played recently to make me feel comfortable beating them. But you never know. Let's see. Stay Woke TV. It's crazy how the other rookie quarterbacks picked after Lawrence and Wilson are doing better. No cap love. My team win or lose. Just rather have us win more than lose. Go Jets. So the rookie quarterback's doing better. Is Fields doing better? I didn't watch Fields' game this past week, so I can't really speak to that. Trey Lance, is he doing better? I don't know. I think he's on a better team. Mac Jones, same thing. I think he's on a better team. I think his ceiling is probably capped to a point. Like, I don't see Mac Jones as like the Brady successor, or, I think he could be a franchise quarterback, and I think he could be a top 15 quarterback in the league. But I think there is a clear difference in the talent level of the Patriots and a seasoned coach like Bill Belichick compared to what the Jets currently have on their roster and the inexperience on the coaching staff. Lawrence and Wilson, I think, are clearly on the 2 worst teams from last year. Detroit is another bad team. I think that's, if someone were drafted there, I think they would see the same sort of lack of success. But I do think that the other rookie quarterbacks are definitely in a better position than Wilson or Lawrence. Joe S. says, do you see that stat? Wilson has better numbers in his first 5 games than Josh Allen. Be patient. The quarterback is OC. The quarterback, the blank is the OC. I can't use, I don't know my, the offensive coordinator. Oh, the offensive, there's a comma. Be patient with the quarterback. The offensive coordinator is the problem. Okay. That's interesting. Josh Allen, I thought after 2 years, he was a bust. I thought Darnold was definitely going to be better. Josh Allen, if you were to do a redraft of the entire league, I think you probably take Mahomes. I think you take Herbert. And I think Josh Allen is probably in that conversation. It wouldn't shock me if you took him higher than either one of those guys. I know I don't want to say like anything super crazy, but I do think Josh Allen is absolutely a top 5 quarterback. And I think we're going to have to deal with that for a while because he is built like a freight train. He played lights out yesterday. I want to say that at one point he was like 7 receptions for like 200 and something yards. It was banana land. Absolutely banana land. Let's see. Ed Stewart says, exactly, New York Jets just got to try keeping Becton healthy when he comes back. The issue he just had was not a reoccurring issue. It was someone rolled up onto his leg. I think any offensive lineman would have issues with that. Big arms. I like your icon. It's the Hulk. Makes sense. Name checks out. Do you feel that we will be good eventually? I do. I think we are on the right track. I think Douglas is the right GM. I think Saleh is the right head coach. I think I'm fine with giving LaFleur like 2 full years to kind of figure this out. I know it's probably not ideal, and I think we might be banging our heads against the wall. And I could definitely change my tune, if by the end of this season we're not seeing any improvement in the first half. Like, it feels like LaFleur needs 2 quarters of play before he can make adjustments, which is just not what you need to have in your offensive coordinator. So we'll see. Tony G says, are those damn Florida edge rushers? Talking about Zuniga, talking about Ja'Kai Polite. Man, awful. Mike says, got people in the chat after 1 win breaking down how we can make wild card, and after a loss, everybody's fire everyone. That's how the Jet fan base goes. That's how a lot of fan bases go. Joe S drops in with super chat. Joe S says, if you can do it again, would you take Lamb over Becton? No, I don't think I would. I love CeeDee Lamb. I really do. If Becton proves he can't stay healthy, then yes, because then you would wind up in your revisionist history. You would put Fant left tackle, Morgan Moses right tackle. But I think taking the offensive lineman was the right move there. I don't really feel like wide receiver is our issue as much as I love CeeDee Lamb. And I think he would, if we had CeeDee Lamb, we would be performing so much better because of his yak ability. So we'll see. Yoshi says Buffalo never rests starters. Ask the Dolphins. Yes, but at the end of the season, if they are in the 1 seed, I would be very surprised if they did not rest their starters. If it's not for the full game, at least half the game. They did it against us 2 years ago, first year of Gase. Those last 2 wins were very hollow for me. It was a Steelers 3rd string quarterback and the Bills backups. So they definitely do rest their starters at the end of the season, like the way the Jets are going to have to play them. I think they're the second to last game for us. Let's see. Ninja Dude says Derek Stingley Jr., the corner from LSU. I would not hate that. It really depends where the Jets wind up falling, because I'm still, as much as we signed John Franklin Myers and we have Carl Lawson, I'm still on the edge bandwagon here. I would rather us go edge early, and then if you want to say either center or corner with the next pick, I'm fine with that. It kind of depends on where you think guys are going to go. Stingley's a great cornerback, but secondary hasn't felt like the issue so far. Harry W says, I think we can win 5 to 6 games this year. I think it's possible. I think they're definitely beatable. I see the Eagles. I forgot we had the Eagles on the schedule. I think they're definitely beatable. That said, it's also a coin flip game. Like, I don't think the Jets should be favored in a lot of these games, but I think the Jets, when clicking on all cylinders, could win games. I think the way you're kind of looking at it right now, you're probably expecting the Jets to win about 5 games, which would put us probably around the 5th to 8th pick, if I'm ballparking here. Mosky Key. The tight end group isn't productive. Why can't we go 4 wide receivers 80% of the snaps? I don't understand why we don't do that. It feels like we should. And I don't know if that's maybe they don't trust the offensive line enough yet to do that. I think the line has been playing better where they're putting, maybe they were having a tight end in line blocking more. If you could tell me, or if you were to ask me what I think the ideal wide receiver lineup would be, it would be Mims on one side, Davis on the other side, with Crowder and Elijah Moore in the slot. And Elijah Moore really hasn't played the slot. He's been playing outside. It really feels like we'd be getting more out of him in the slot. Although, so maybe if they went 4 wide receivers, maybe we'd see Davis, Elijah Moore on the outside, and then Berrios and Crowder on the inside, which is just driving me bananas. I saw they played Mims in the slot a little bit and used him as a blocker. I'm fine with that. Just get the guy on the field. Dude feels like a gamer. Just makes plays. FM says, Gainwell would have been a better fit for us than Carter. Carter and T.Y. are very similar. T.Y. Ty Johnson. Geez, sorry. Gainwell was my favorite running back coming out. Absolutely my favorite running back coming out. Oh, I see Joe Blewett's in the chat. What up, Joe? I talked to Robbie. He's like, oh, man, is it my turn to come on? And I said, it's okay. I'm just going to go solo and talk to some people. So no JetX rep tonight, Joe, but thanks for jumping in. I will have you on next week. So be ready for it. I probably should have texted Robbie earlier. That was my fault. Robbie, thank you for the super chat. Robbie says, we need to bring in a vet quarterback for Zach. Mike White ain't it. I would love to bring in a vet quarterback to help Zach. I don't know if that quarterback is out there right now. I think they want to give the majority of the reps to Zach. And I think if he goes down, then you wind up just kind of punting on the season. I don't know. I don't have a good answer for where backup quarterback would be. I think this is kind of where we thought the Knapp hire would have really helped us out. It's tough, dude. Vet quarterback is definitely something we dropped the ball on this year after everything kind of went down with Knapp. I think like a McCown would have been perfect. Corey Davis, after this week, I feel at times looks like a wide receiver 1, but other times I think he's a wide receiver 2. I think that's fair because, you could argue, Brown was wide receiver 1 down in Tennessee, and then there's a reason why they didn't bring back Corey Davis or even try to negotiate with him. So they felt like they could have upgraded from him. I do think Corey Davis is the best wide receiver we've had in a while, which isn't really saying a whole heck of a lot. But I will say this, I think Corey Davis can absolutely be a number 1 for us. And I think Elijah Moore can be a number 1 or 2, depending on how he inevitably winds up playing down the line. Scott with the super chat says, hey, it could be worse. It could be worse. We could be the Jaguars. That is absolutely true. And remember how everyone was saying how Trevor Lawrence should not be going to the New York Jets. He should, try as hard as possible. He should go back to school because the Jets are a laughingstock. I love watching the Jaguars' pain right now. I still want to see Trevor Lawrence do well, but man, everything the Jaguars do that is like negative, I would be lying if I said I was not smiling on the inside. That Urban Meyer hire, woo! Oh boy, I wonder if they're regretting that right now. I have to see. You know what? I'm going to put up a poll question. Let's put up a poll question in the chat because I'm curious what you guys think. Poll question is going to be, will Urban Meyer coach Jags next year? Damn. That question is going to be in the live chat. So if you want to click on that, I would love to see what your thoughts are. Does he make it beyond year one? Does he make it the rest of this year? Ugh. Got to keep his hands to himself. Hands to himself. But yeah, I'm happy with the Jaguars stinking it up. All right. Let me take a look. You know what? Let me step aside real quick for some words from our sponsors, and then we will be right back and we will jump to the phone calls. Want to get an advantage over your sportsbook? You need to download BetQL, the only app you'll need to make smart bets. Their Best Bets computer model scans over 350,000 unique bets per year to give you the best bet recommendation for every game across all major sports and gives you the reasoning behind why you should place the bet. Their model covers everything from spreads, over-unders, and player prop bets. Don't want to use the model and prefer to do your own research? BetQL has all the necessary tools for your research needs. There's sharp data so you can see who the pros are backing, line movement so you can jump on betting opportunities in real time, team summaries highlighting previous success against the spread and over-under, and team lineup breaking news and injury status updates. Plus, you can save all your picks in one place to track your success and winning streaks as well as view your rank on their leaderboards. Head to the App Store or Google Play Store now to download BetQL. You can also head to try.betql.co/JetsTalk to get started now. Enter discount code JetsTalk at payment checkout for 25% off any of their subscription offerings. You can find all this information in the description of this video. Make sure to check out their BetMGM offer in the description in order to receive a free year of BetQL. Also check out their sportsbook offers page if you live in any of the eligible states to claim free offers upon signing up for one of the many sportsbooks listed. Don't miss out on your chance to beat your sportsbook this football season.
Dominating your fantasy league? Prove it.
Shaping up to be a great game between these two teams. There's no telling what might happen.
Enhance the game with 3 easy steps. Predict, compete, and win. Start now and play your first $20 risk-free. Only on WinView.
All right, boys and girls, we're going to jump to the phones. Phone number is on the screen. I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear what you guys think of everything we saw this past week. Are there ways that we could get better? Of course there are. Vent to me. I want to hear your thoughts. Go through this. If you're just stopping in, drop a like on the video. If you're hanging out with us, thank you. Love hanging out with you guys. Oh, if you cannot get through on the phone line, all you have to do is keep calling because it bounces people who are on the line, or they're on the line. It'll bounce them to the voicemail after the fact. And then, or maybe you get busy signal. I don't know if you get a busy signal. I don't think so. I've never tried calling myself on this line. So we shall see. What else you guys talking about in the chat? Why does every new regime try to out dumbass the previous regime? Doesn't it feel like that? It's like, oh man, we had 𝐒𝐻𝐿. He had a zillion picks, and that sucked. And then we wind up going, oh well, we got Maccagnan. He brought in some really big talent. You know, he wasn't penny pinching like that 𝐒𝐻𝐿 character. Oh wait, that worked horribly. Although I would say Maccagnan's drafts were really bad. Would you say he's more to blame or Gase's more to blame? I don't know. that's a tough one. But I do like Douglas. I think Douglas is at least making selections that have a rationale to it. Like, I can wrap my head around his picks, where Maccagnan, I was kind of like reaching and grasping at straws. Give it some time. We got some time. What else? JJ, we should double up on O-line with both first rounders. Kenyon Green and Linderbaum would take our offensive line to another level. Linderbaum's definitely the one that I think a lot of people are keying in on because he's the center position, and we're clearly in need of that, at least long-term wise. I don't know. Is Kenyon Green, is he the one from Alabama? Is he the right tackle? You could you could get me on board with 2 offensive linemen in the first. Like, that's probably like Green Bean tried to say safety. I was like, no, absolutely not. I'm not doing safety. Cornerback, you could get me on in the first. I trust Joe Douglas's evaluation of rookie offensive line talent. The free agent talent is always a little bit, always going to be a little bit suspect because I feel like good offensive linemen don't generally leave in free agency. It's kind of a rare opportunity when you can get that. I think when you're looking at everything all in, do we go 2 offensive linemen early and just kind of lock it down? Yeah. Jon Snow says Green is from A&M. There it is. See, I gotta start watching the mock drafts. I haven't really done that. Oh, and I'm just seeing now that my phone number that I put on the screen does not show up when I'm looking at comment questions. So let's do that. Let's change this. It'll be the ticker on the bottom. Bam! Call-in numbers on the bottom, so that way I can talk through the chat while also listening for phone calls. Joe S says, I don't want to hear safety anymore. I do not condone safety in the first round whatsoever. Not in the slightest. Ed says, I wore my Winston Hill jersey yesterday, hoping for the best. It didn't help. I didn't think the offensive line was like the worst. Like Zach had to do a little bit of crafty maneuvering trying to get out of some of the areas, I guess. But I think by and large, the offensive line played all right enough for us to win. Robbie says, I'm sick of seeing Berrios lined up in the slot instead of Mims. I don't know. I want to see Mims on the field. But Berrios has been legit. Like, it's hard to get upset with Berrios. I think he doesn't show quite as much. I think I just want Mims to like play all out. I don't know. I want to see more Mims. Brian Spiegel says Jets should draft the best wide receiver. Not in the first. Second round, sure. I can get behind a second round, but that just kind of like stacks us a little bit at wide receiver. Like wide receiver doesn't feel like the issue. Maybe like a legit number one. Like if you were to have like, if you don't think Mims is the guy, then maybe consider it. I'm curious. I don't even know who's up for free agency at the end of this year. Let's see if we could find that out. Free agency per over the cap. Let's see. Wide receiver wise, Allen Robinson, 29 years old. Chris Godwin, 26 years old. I like Godwin a lot. Devontae Adams, he's incredible. 30 years old. Will Fuller, don't want to touch him. T.Y. is 33. Nope. Juju Smith-Schuster just went out for the year. He is a free agent after the year. He's 26 years old. But I don't know. Hey, maybe he's the route runner that they would want. I don't necessarily want him. Let's see. Deshaun Jackson. Man, he's 36 years old. He's been around the league forever. Cole and Crowder are both free agents at the end of the year. If I had to pick one to come back, they're both 29. I really like Keelan Cole, but Crowder's been so reliable. I don't think either one comes back. I think they're both probably gone. Man, not a lot of like great options off the top. Let's see. Our team isn't that bad. Play calling has just been horrible. I don't know why we're starting off so slow. I feel like you run some quick slants and you're able to at least have the opportunity to give your guy a chance. And I feel like the Jets just haven't done that. It kind of drives me up a wall. Let's see what else we have. That was the wide receiver list. And actually, you know what? I could show this. Look at this. Look at me go. I could show this on stream. Chrome tab. Bam. So let's show this. And we can talk about it a little bit. So here's the list of free agents that are coming up. You just hit the good old refresh button. So you got Von Miller, Brandon Sheriff, 31 years old, Allen Robinson, Chandler Jones, Big Ben. You go after Big Ben if you really want. Let's see who we got. Let's see who we got at center and guard. Sheriff, Jensen. I remember when we wanted Jensen a while back. Paradis, same idea. Ben Jones. I feel like offensive line, you're going to have to get through the draft. There's no one I'm seeing on this list right now that jumps out at me as guys that I would want to take on. Maybe you take a flyer on someone like Hernandez. Doesn't have to leave the city. Move on from Van Roten. I don't want any of these guys to be our starter at any point. Scott Liberty says Vera Tucker rocks. I have liked what we've gotten out of him so far. Trade Cole and Crowder for Christian McCaffrey. I would wet myself if that happened. Yeah, I think all of us would. It's not happening, dude. Who else we got? Let's see. Let's pull those off the board. What else could we be looking for? Let's see where we at in cornerbacks. Gilmore will be 32. Kyle Fuller. Kevin King. Oh, man. We got a caller.
Call from
Mike the Barber.
to accept.
Mike the Barber. What's up, dude? Welcome to the cockpit.
Mike the Barber. Listen, man, I love the Jets and everything, but it's just so sad to see my team just in a disarray. There's no hope.
Dude, don't say there's no hope. We got a young rookie quarterback. We got a young offensive line. We've got what a lot of people thought was a really good hire at head coach. And offensive coordinator-wise, I mean, he's just got to figure it out. That's really what it comes down to. I think we're just growing as a young team. This is what we're going to run into, being the youngest team in the league. Thank you so much for the call. I don't know what happened. He just stopped talking. Nice call. I can imagine a lot of people are feeling very similar in that respect. I think a lot of people are upset with where we're off to as a team. What else are you guys talking about in the chat? Tony G says Mike was cutting hair. Let's see. Robbie says, no, Ryan, no disrespect, but I think you're wrong. We need to take some offensive talent in the first round. We can't keep settling for linemen and quarterbacks, and I hope that makes our offense better. No, we don't want to keep going after quarterbacks. You hope your quarterback that you have right now is the guy that's going to be the guy for the next 5+ years. So you're not taking another quarterback by any means. Offensive linemen, I think there's a justification for. I don't know if you'd go both in that route. If the Jets wanted to go and go the route of a number one wide receiver and an offensive lineman, I'd be okay with that. You wouldn't hear me be upset with that at all.
Call from
Vinny.
Vinny, what's good, dude? Welcome to the cockpit.
What's up? How you been?
I'm hanging in there. I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty disappointed with this past weekend. I was really all gung-ho that the Jets were going to be, 2 wins in a row.
They made too many mistakes. It's just honest. It looks like a little bit of jet lag, a little bit of mental error, and of course, some good old-fashioned ref ball.
Dude, that first pass interference, I keep saying pass interference. That first roughing the passer call had me all sorts of fired up. I jumped off my chair. I was like, you've got to be.
No, my cousin literally 5 seconds after that, bing! He's like, what the fuck is this? This soft-ass league.
Dude, it was awful. It was absolutely terrible.
Oh, no, absolutely. It's like, well, the thing is, it's like, honestly, it's frustrating with this year, but, it's going to be a rough year. It's like, they got to learn consistency,
Mm-hmm. I think there's going to be there's a growth curve, and I think after the bye,
I think I could best let this audio clip of former Jets head coach Walt Michaels explain it all better than I can.
Let's hear it.
Up and down roller coaster type. I think you'll find that.
Hold on, let me just back up a second.
Coordinator when they won Super Bowl III.
There we go.
They're an up and down roller coaster type. I think you'll find that anytime you deal with a young football team. And until they can learn to handle the pressure of week in and week out consistency, you're going to have that problem. It's as simple as that.
You're spot on. They're a roller coaster of a football team. They're a young team. That's what you're going to see. You're going to see ups and downs. And that's just it. Like when we were going into this season, the expectation shouldn't have been playoffs. It shouldn't have been winning a ton of games. It should be look at week 1, look at week 18. Did we grow? Are we a better team than when we started? And I mean, you could break that down earlier.
Absolutely. And, the thing is, and people are worrying about Zach Wilson throwing a butt ton of interceptions. You want to know what right now? I could name 4 Hall of Fame quarterbacks and 1 current NFL MVP candidate who threw more interceptions and touchdowns in their rookie year. Do you know who they are?
I would bet, Peyton definitely threw more. I want to say was he 28 or 30 interceptions? He had a ton of interceptions, whatever it was.
Peyton Manning. Okay, you got Peyton Manning. The other three Hall of Famers, Troy Aikman, John Elway, and Terry Bradshaw.
Okay. And you're saying the starter, I'm going to say Josh Allen.
Yep.
Yeah, I figured. That's like the Bills built their team the way I was hoping the Jets would.
The problem
just didn't work out
is that ever since Cam Newton, in the early 2010s when you had Cam Newton, Andrew Luck, RG3, had all these young quarterbacks come out the gates running. Everyone has that expectation of that now. But the thing is, not every quarterback is going to be like that. Like you look at Josh Allen, he was more of the old school rookie quarterback, struggled early out from the gates, and took him time to develop until he became that MVP caliber quarterback. And side note, at this point, I don't think there's anybody challenging the Bills in the AFC right now.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either. I thought it was going to be the Chiefs, and I don't think with that defense they're going to even come close. Like I think the Bills before the season, I thought the Bills were my Super Bowl prediction. I was going to say Bills Bucks, and I think that's still looking pretty strong. Although Bills Cowboys,
I think the Bucks lack the depth on defense too. I think because they went all in and bringing everybody back, they had to sacrifice team depth, and if they can't get healthy in the playoffs, I think they're going to get smacked by the Cowboys.
I think the Cowboys are really good. Dak looks filthy. If he can stay healthy,
One thing I just love. But one thing I do love about this is that look, even though Zach Wilson's bad, I can't wait for the future. But I love how Patriots fans are overreacting to Mac Jones.
They haven't seen a mediocre quarterback yet. I mean, maybe Cam last year, I guess, was subpar. But I'm hoping that once the pieces start falling apart and I don't know. I think if the Jets start clicking on all cylinders, if Miami winds up getting Watson like it kind of seems like it's going to be, man, I don't know. I think I'm not afraid of the Patriots like I was in years past. No,
I'm not afraid of them either. Like you look at, they could barely beat the Texans last Sunday.
Yeah.
What was the game? 24-20?
I don't know. I don't have it pulled up right now.
It was a one possession game. I know that much for sure. If you're losing, if you can only win by one possession against the Texans, and you got the Cowboys next week, they're gonna get creamed. They
definitely could. Vinny, I'm gonna jump to some more callers. Thank you so much for the call-in, brother. Bam! You've been ejected from the cockpit. Kyle drops in with a super chat. Kyle says, we need to use these picks and trade for players that are already established and have experience. Can't keep taking rookies and expecting miracles. I think it depends on where that selection is, because I'm not against it. Like, I love Diggs pickup for the Bills. Now, in the end, they wound up trading him for Justin Jefferson, and it just so happened to work out where Jefferson is really good. I don't know. Who is that player? Is it a tight end? Is it a wide receiver? Is it a lineman? Are you looking for a cornerback, an edge rusher? Like who is that player that's going to impact us so much right now that you would say is like, okay, he's going to put us over the top? I think we're a year away from maybe seeing that. I would say I would like to see the Jets use these draft picks this year and build the team more. You'll have a better idea of what your team is next year, and then you can plug in the missing pieces with those trade options. I mean, I could be wrong. There could be some guys that I just don't realize are available or could be available. I mean, heck, if you told me DeAndre Hopkins was actually going to be available, then maybe I would have pulled the trigger on that. Let's see. Hold on. My HDMI cord not playing well with me on monitor numero dos. Jet Nation in here. Is that Phil or is that Green Bean? My favorite thing is when the callers start talking before Ryan answers their questions. That definitely happens sometimes. It definitely does. It's Green Bean. What up, dude? Good to have you in the chat. Now, I still want to know why my monitor is not playing nice. I must be using a bad HDMI cable. There I am. Now I'm back. All right. So I wanted to pull up some of the Pro Football Focus scores from this past week. I know. People get upset. Pro Football Focus doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean everything. But I do like looking at it because I like seeing where guys rank week in and week out. So we're going to take a look at the offense. I'm going to pull that up on stream. Look at Vera Tucker. 92.4. Throwing it around, my friend. 92.4. 88.9 pass block, 90.6 run block. Dude looks legit. Big fan of that. Friggin' Denzel Mims at number 2. 8 total snaps. George Fant looking pretty good. Man, it makes you wonder what's going to happen with Becton, right? Look at Morgan Moses down there at 13. Is there a situation where the Jets could consider moving Becton to the right-hand side because Fant is playing well on the left-hand side? Or does Becton reclaim his left tackle spot and you keep Morgan Moses or Fant at right tackle? Because it seems like Fant has an easier job or feels like he's doing a better job on the left-hand side. It's going to be an interesting conundrum that we wind up running into. Connor McGovern playing well, 80.2. Van Roten at 74.8. I have a hard time believing. But again, I felt like the offensive line was not the issue. And look at this. This for the second week in a row, 56 snaps, 56 snaps, 56 snaps, 56 snaps. That's 100% of the offensive snaps. That does not happen frequently for this Jets team. Jameson Crowder ranked highly, Keelan Cole, Carter, and then it starts trailing off with Davis and Braxton Berrios. Then you look at the bottom, man, Elijah Moore. I want to see him get game planned for. And I don't know if this is just like a first game back kind of thing where they want to work him in slowly. But man, it'd be nice to see him get more involved. Let's see if I can change to the defensive grades. Let's see what we got. Tim Ward had like 2 plays in a row where he like caused issues. Had the tackle behind the line of scrimmage and he had the knockdown pass. So that's a 95.7. Best player on the defense, hands down. But look who's number 1 with the most snaps, or with a lot of snaps. John Franklin Myers, our newest extended player. You love seeing that. It'd be worse if you saw John Franklin Myers towards the bottom of this thing. that would not be so good. Sherwood's playing better than I would have thought. Quincy Williams playing well. I will say I'm a little surprised seeing Mosley this far down the list. I feel like he is playing better than this Pro Football Focus stuff would really have you believe. Quinnen Williams, lower down the list too. Interesting. Ashton Davis with a nice tackling grade. Bryce Hall continues to be, solid. I think this was a weaker game for him. I think they took advantage of him a little bit. Oh, geez, I just realized I don't have the call-in thing up. Sorry, boys and girls. I wind up ranting about one thing and not even not paying attention. All right. Phone number is up if you'd like to call in. The Google Voice is there. Let's see what else we got. Defensive grades. There's a pressure category in here somewhere. Let's see passing grades. Let's see what our boy Zach Wilson's doing. He's good at not fumbling. I guess we'll give him that. Everything else did not go so well. Let's see. What are you guys talking about in the chat? Pro Football Focus has personal grudges against Q and Mosley. Sure seems that way, doesn't it? Robbie says, I would like to see more deep balls to Elijah Moore. Man runs a 4.2, 4.3 40, and we can't send him down the field. He is a Tyreek Hill rookie edition. That's sort of, I don't want to say that's where I thought we were going with this, but I thought he'd be utilized more on the deep routes. And I don't know why that isn't or hasn't been the case. I mean, he's been playing outside, which I guess is traditionally where you would have your deep routes come in. Man, Hill is something special for that Chiefs offense. You know how they neutralize him, though? You play cover 2, and you have 2 safeties deep, and you kind of bracket him. He can't beat you deep. I want to say the Bills rushed 3 down linemen a high percentage of the time yesterday, and it neutralized Mahomes. They were able to contain him from running for the most part. At one point, he was the leading rusher. I want to say that was at halftime. Same with Allen. Leading rushers on both their respective teams. But I think when you have that many guys in coverage, it makes it a lot harder to do some of those fancy things. Some of those crazy throws. That's how you neutralize that. Billy SBC says 17 runs and 32 passes doesn't seem like a good game plan with a rookie quarterback against Ryan. When you look at how we've played the last few weeks, we have run into issues early. The first half of games have been abysmal to the point where you can't run the ball. Like everyone's upset that we're running play action in like the 2-minute drill or whatever at the end of the game. Now, play action doesn't make a whole lot of sense when you wind up having, they know you need to pass, but that's why we get away from the run is because we need to get back into it. It's brutal. Absolutely brutal.
Call from
Joe.
Hey, Joe, what's up, brother? Welcome to the cockpit.
Hey, what's up, Ryan?
I'm trying to hang in there.
Excuse me.
Talk to me. How you
Lost my
feeling
voice
this
a
week?
little there.
Nah, that's all right.
Tell you what, man. I think our offense is a problem.
Yeah. You called in just to say that? Come on, talk to me. What are you feeling,
You
dude?
want to be honest?
Yeah,
I think
talk to me.
Zach Wilson right now, I think he's his own worst enemy. I don't think he is setting his feet right on the ground. I think he's throwing all arms. He's not, throwing from the right angles. He's not even making short routine plays.
Mhm.
Everything seems to be when he is making good plays, it's always on the run towards his right side and deep. And he's got to get away from that. Not that that's, not important, because at times you have to go deep, right? Because maybe you have an open receiver there ready to, catch the ball and go for the touchdown. But that being said, I think his mechanics, what I'm trying to say, is off. Because he's not making the routine short plays. And I thought maybe it's just, he's not seeing the field well. He's not, seeing the open receiver. But I think it's a little more than that.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say they don't like the footwork of Wilson right now. And I think that is definitely an issue. Originally, I thought that was a symptom of a bad offensive line. I think that's something they're going to start to try and work on and get him trying to check down the ball more, because it feels like he's really good at the off-script stuff. It's the on-script timing type routes that you really want to see him do well at, especially over the middle. It seems like he's always behind his guys. He doesn't know how to really judge maybe the speed of his players cutting across the middle. Corey Davis, we've seen that on numerous accounts.
Yeah, I don't think the receivers, though, sometimes are helping him. I don't think they're running their routes right. I mean, they're not open at all down the field. You're telling me, did they have – I'm not too sure. Were any of those secondary members Pro Bowlers at all on the Falcons? Because I'm not 100% sure.
I can't imagine they are.
I don't think they are, yeah. So what's the problem? Why can't they get open? I mean, even Elijah Moore, he caught that ball. He caught it out of bounds. I think it's a lot of things, between Zach working on his mechanics, basically not reading the defense well. And then it's Michael LaFleur. I don't think he's using the running game enough. I think he's trying to, but he loses confidence in the running game when, let's say Michael Carter will, run for maybe 3 yards, and then maybe he'll explode for 5 or 6, and then again go back down to 3 to 2. So it's inconsistency, and he loses faith in that, and then he goes to the passing game again. He doesn't stick to it. He doesn't do maybe some screens with the running back. I don't like LaFleur's plan, I'll be honest with you. I don't like the way he's going about this offense. And the offensive line this week didn't do that bad.
I think this week they were fine. I think the offensive line this week was fine. I think where I run into issues is that Zach has been inaccurate, and it's preventing us from getting those extra opportunities to see LaFleur develop an offensive rhythm, I guess. Because when he has the long drives, for the most part, it seems like you're looking like, okay, this makes sense, this makes sense, this makes sense. But then there was a few where it's I want to say it was a 2nd and 5, and he winds up throwing the ball behind the line of scrimmage. That to me drove me bananas. It's you're finally moving forward and you move yourself backwards. And then now you create a 3rd and long. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
I would love to see some more quick
Zach
slants.
Wilson's overthinking.
I think it's a combo. I think it's Zach Wilson is overthinking, and I think he's trying to put the team on his back too much. I think he's got to get the ball into his receivers' hands and let them get the yak. You saw when he got the ball to Michael Carter in the flat early in the second half, he was able to scamper for 12, 15 yards, whatever it was. I think there's opportunities for his playmakers to make plays after the catch, and I think he's not taking advantage of them the way he should.
Right. I think the bottom line is this before I go, Ryan. The coaching on this team is they're rookies. And some of them are young, like Mike LaFleur. Okay?
Sure.
So and now you have a rookie quarterback who's young. So this is a work in progress. But that being said, they got to simplify things for Zach, like the way New England does with Mac Jones. Mac Jones ain't doing nothing flashy, but he's playing well for the most part, especially for a rookie. Again, he's not like Andrew Luck when he threw over 4,000 yards his rookie season. But who knows? Within time, he will get better, and then eventually he's going to take more risks and throw the ball down the field. You have to get the short game down pat first before you go off on this Patrick Mahomes type of game that you want to basically be, meaning Zach Wilson wants to try to accomplish, which he's done well with the deep passing, but he's got to get that short game routine. If he does not, baby steps, he's going to fail. He's not going to succeed in this league with all the talent he has. Got to get that short game down pat like the way Mac Jones is right now.
Now, do you think there's an issue maybe not having a good tight end? Could that be the missing piece for this offense?
Definitely. I mean, look at Bill Belichick. He always had two good tight ends, didn't he? I think that is.
Yeah.
I think Ryan Griffin and Kraft suck. If you ask me,
Yeah.
I don't think they're good at all. They're not good blockers, and they're not good they don't catch good. Even in the screens, they're not catching good. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, they need a tight end. They definitely need a tight end. You know, it's funny. The defense didn't have a sack, but they didn't play that bad.
No, that's what I was trying to say. Like, when I was doing my takeaways, I was like, man, you know what? The defense gave up a bunch of yards, and they're going to look at Kyle Pitts and saying, oh, he's got his first touchdown as a rookie, and he has the third highest yardage of a rookie gained in a rookie year for a tight end. And like, by and large, I'm looking at the defense. I'm like, I'm not upset with that. Like, if the Jets, if you don't call those two plays where the D end is on the tight end, I think that eliminates at least one of those touchdowns. And then I think overall the Jets defense played well. I think we're still young, but I think by and large the Jets played well enough to win. If Zach Wilson gets the ball down the field and we're able to create anything offensively in the first half of this game, I think it's a completely different story.
Yeah, I tell you what, I like Bryce Hall. I think he's playing well for a second year. Really,
yeah,
it's
I'm a
like
big
he's
fan.
a rookie because this is the first year he's starting.
Yeah, he started at the end of last year, right? Like it was him and Bless.
Oh yeah, that's
towards
right.
the end.
He did
So
actually, and I think about it now.
Yeah, I want to say he started somewhere around week 8 or 9. He started the season late.
Week 9.
Yeah, and I'm really happy with it. It's honestly the one thing saving Joe Douglas's draft from 2020 for me is getting a starting caliber cornerback in the 5th round. And this is one that Green Bean loved. Green Bean, if you're still in the chat, you love Bryce Hall. We loved Bryce Hall in the 3rd round, I think is what we started talking about. And then it just kept going. We're like, oh man, he's still available.
They got some interceptions.
Yeah, man. The Jets are the only team in the NFL that don't have an interception through 5 weeks of the NFL season. And that's just
they get turnovers though.
They have gotten turnovers. They've been lucky with the fumbles a little bit, but I think you still need to be able to generate interceptions. You have to be able to bait quarterbacks into throwing those.
Well, you know what it is, lack of experience, and they really don't have that, type of when Marcus May is not on the field, I don't really think they have that kind of leadership in the secondary to help guide this young team. Marcus May was that. Man, he almost came close to getting one interception in the couple games that he played, but
I would love to see the Jets bring back LaMarcus Joyner as one of the safeties next year. And I think May winds up getting traded at the deadline. I want to keep CJ Mosley. I think he is the vet presence on this team that we really need to hold on to. I know the contract's going to be an issue for some people, but I think with how much cap space we have right now, and the way he's playing and the way that he's leading this team, it would be silly to move on from him at this particular point.
Hey, Ryan, where do we go at the first? Let's say we get the top 3 or top 5 pick in the draft. Where do we go? Do we go safety? Do we go defensive? Do we go pass rush? Do we go offensive line?
I don't want safety that early. I would steer clear of that.
I agree.
I would go either edge rusher. I would possibly go offensive line. You might be able to convince me on corner depending on who's there, but I think if we are in a position where we can trade down for someone who wants a quarterback, this is a year I would definitely feel comfortable moving down, getting a first for next year, and just kind of maintaining that 2 first-round picks for at least next year.
I would definitely trade down, especially
if we have a top 5 pick. I would say if we have a top 5 pick, trade down is high up on my list this year, especially because it looks like the Seahawks pick might be a top 15 pick. So if you can have 2 picks within, say, the top 15, because if you drop down from 5, you're maybe moving down, maybe to 10 or so. I'd be all right with that.
Yep, I'm going to let you go. I could talk to you for an hour, man.
I love it, dude. It's a good call. I love having you call in.
Thanks a lot, Ryan. Take care, and hopefully I'll meet you one day at MetLife Stadium.
Fingers crossed, brother. If you're there on Halloween, I will be there for the Bengals game.
Will do. Don't give up on Zach. He's going to be a good one. Give him time.
I love it. Thanks, brother. Thanks for the calling. What are you guys talking about in the chat? See, Robbie Oaks says, thank you, Ryan. Trade down. Hope those college quarterbacks ball out. I hope they ball out for two reasons. One, so we might be able to trade down. And two, other people might take them ahead of us and better players fall down. Who we got calling in?
Call from
Cornell.
Hey, what's good, brother? Welcome to the cockpit. Man, he got nervous. That is all right. That is quite fine. Wow. ESPN is reporting Gruden and the Raiders have parted ways. Well, yeah. That's a huge... I wonder if he lost part of his contract because of that. That's the one thing about doing the Monday show that I don't like. I don't get to watch the Monday Night Football stuff. You had to think those comments were going to come back and bite him. Not good. Not good if you're John Gruden. What did he have, like 4 or 5 years left on that deal? That was a huge, huge contract. Not good. PG says, who replaces Gruden? I don't know. I have a buddy who's a Raider fan that I'll have to be talking to after this stream. I'm sure there's messages. I have my phone as the second camera back up that way. That's the behind the scenes camera you guys always see. I'm curious what is going on in our group chat right now because I feel like that's got to be a hot topic. JW says we should hire Gruden as OC. No, do not touch Gruden. Gruden is plutonium right now. I don't think that would be a wise move. JW says he's only kidding. Good. I'm glad you're only kidding. What else you guys talking about in the chat? Brendan says, doesn't look like college quarterbacks are playing too well this year. No, they don't. They don't look like they're playing well. That's what's like sucks. And imagine if you had kept Sam with this current team and you have the ineptitude on the first halves of games. And now you decide, hey, he's not the guy. And all of a sudden you don't have the number 2 overall pick and there's no quarterbacks coming out. So the Jets made the right move by taking the quarterback.
Call from
Cornell.
Nope. Let's see if we get him again. Hey, brother. Welcome to the cockpit.
Hey, what's up?
How goes it? How you feeling about our
Nice.
Jets?
Not too good.
No, I can't say it feels good at all. What do you think the solution is?
I think the solution to this problem that we have is probably run the ball more because Matt LaFleur seems like he gives up on the running game too fast and too early.
Yeah, it's tough, right? Because you want to see Michael Carter play a little bit more. It seems like the offensive line is holding up. At least it did last week. Make the game easier for Zach Wilson, whether that is, not just even running the ball, but being able to throw those screen passes and let your running backs create some yards after the catch. I know we tried the one screen and Zach wound up bonking Morgan Moses in the back of the head, but I would love to see, I really would love to see the Jets utilize the running backs more and just kind of simplify it for Zach.
Yeah, because the only game that I really think that we really used the running game was the Patriots game when we were getting killed. Wilson threw 4 interceptions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, the 4 picks in the Patriot game ended that game before it even started. We couldn't do anything at all. Now you move forward, you go into the Patriots this next time around. Do you think running the ball will prevent, obviously it'll prevent the interceptions, but do you think running the ball against the Patriots after the bye week is the right move? And he's gone. It was a good call. Solid questions. Let's see. What are we talking about over here? It's crazy how a missed block by Greg Van Roten was a missed opportunity downfield for a big game-changing play. I think it was Moore who was wide open. Just upgrading from him would be a huge win. Yeah, who's the play? Oh, was it this week or was it last week? There was a play where Zach got flushed out of the pocket. And it was either Davis It couldn't have been more last week, I guess. Just screaming across downfield. But Zach's running for his life, so he can't turn around. And I want to say it was the Elijah Moore throw where they're like, oh, Zach should have released it now. And you're looking at where his body mechanics are, and he's like turning around to start facing Elijah Moore. He had to try and twist his body to set his feet and throw. That was the hardest thing. Let's see. Green Bean's in the chat, but here's a comment coming at Green Bean. He says, Brendan says, seems as if every quarterback who was a first-round caliber quarterback at the start of the year is now playing very much below that. Hey, let's keep in mind what we see now is not necessarily what we'll get at the end of the season, right? Because I don't think any of us had Zach Wilson as the number 2 overall quarterback at this point in the season last year.
Call from
Jack.
Hey, Jack, what's up, dude? Welcome to the cockpit.
Hey, Ryan, how you doing?
I'm hanging in there, just talking to everyone, trying to feel out where we're supposed to be going as a franchise and how we right this ship heading into the bye week. So talk to me. What's on your mind?
I see you, man. I want to talk about the game in London, actually.
Okay.
It was miserable for me. I went to bed so early waiting for that game, man. You have no
Whereabouts
clue.
do you live? Are you like West Coast?
No, I live in Jersey.
Oh, man. Okay. So you went to bed mad early so you could wake up for 9:30.
Woke up at 9:30, ate a good breakfast, watched the game. They're down,
Sure.
17-0, was it?
Oh, dude, we were down like immediately. We went into half 17-0.
Yeah, I know. And the other thing is we got to bring in a veteran for Zach Wilson. He's struggling a lot. I mean, you can't blame the guy. He's not getting a lot of help. I mean, with the passing of the quarterback's coach, I mean, there's not much you can really do about that. I mean, he was the solution for Wilson, I think. Well, when I
think Knapp was definitely going to be the vet quarterback in the room. Like, I think that was what he was brought in here to be. And it seemed like the Jets didn't really have a backup plan. Not that you necessarily thought you'd need one. But I think that's definitely an area that the Jets are wishing they had planned a little bit better for.
Yeah, I hear you. Also about Denzel Mims, he's got to see the field more. I think he should definitely be on the field over Keelan Cole. I don't see why not. I don't see why he's sitting on the sideline while Cole's getting all the snaps. Doesn't make any sense to me.
I agree. I want Mims to earn his snaps for sure, but I think, our GM drafted him. Like, give the guy the reps. He didn't have a preseason last year, so he's behind the ball. I mean, you think about everything that Mims has had to go through, right? Like, he's injured going into last year's season. He doesn't play till week 7 or 8 or 9, whatever week it was. And then he goes into the offseason. He's thinking, okay, I'm going to be the number 1 wide receiver. Then we bring in Keelan Cole, Corey Davis, draft Elijah Moore. And then he's like, oh, crap, now I have to compete with all 3 of these guys. And then he goes into training camp or goes into mini camp or whatever and gets food poisoning from his own facility. Oh my God, dude, this is like, I feel so bad for Mims, and I really hope he can kind of fight through it. And I hope this isn't like a spite from the coaching staff. I hope it's legitimately like, hey, we think this guy can be good, and he's just not quite there yet.
Yeah, I hear you. I have one more question, bro. What do you think about Jeff Ulbrich so far?
Jeff Ulbrich, man, I thought the defense played well all year long so far, with the exception of the 2 wacky play calls with the DNs on the tight ends. It drove me crazy. Like, when we were going into this game, I'm thinking like, okay, Ulbrich knows some of these players on the other side of the field. Like, he'll know how to defend against them. But like, it's like he tried to outsmart everyone on the field, and he totally outsmarted himself, and he winds up shooting us in the foot because of it. I blame this loss mostly on him, and then Zach Wilson would be a close number 2. But I think Ulbrich is the ultimate reason we lost this game.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Well, yeah, that's really all I got for you. I mean, I think you got to keep your head up on Zach Wilson. I don't think it's his fault. He'll prove himself.
I agree, dude. Brother, thank you so much for the call. I look forward to talking to you again in the future.
All right, see you, man.
You've been ejected from the cockpit. Oh, Green Bean. I see you right there. I'm gonna call me some Green Bean right now. Let's see if he'll pick up. Green Bean, I saw your call. I saw it come through. Is he going to pick up?
Green Bean, I saw your call.
Green Bean? Can you hear me?
Hello? Yeah.
Green Bean.
This is Teen Bean.
Oh, Teen Bean. What's up, dude? How you doing?
I was the one who was calling.
I love it.
I'm doing pretty well.
How are you guys? You're playing football right now, aren't you?
Yeah. Not right now. Yeah, but yeah, I am.
Not right now.
Yeah, not right now.
How is your team doing better than our team right now?
Yeah, man, we're 3-0, averaging at least 40 points a game. So I
Oh, let's get Teen Bean on the field. Damn.
Yeah.
I love it, dude. Talk to me. What's on your mind?
So I was thinking, you guys were talking about the draft earlier. I'm
Yep.
thinking I don't think we should go defensive end or edge rusher first. I think we should go towards offense.
Okay. So where would you like to go? Were you thinking offensive line? Were you thinking wide receiver?
I'm thinking tight end. I'm thinking tight end, O-line, maybe defensive safety, because there's a few safeties in this draft that look amazing so far.
Green Bean's been talking too much. I hate the safety talk. I really do. It just burns me up. But I will say this. Tight end should absolutely be a priority. I think for me, I want to wait to see what happens in free agency because O.J. Howard and David Njoku are both potentially free agents. We'll see if they wind up getting re-signed by their respective teams. I feel like Njoku is probably going to get re-signed. Guy's playing really well. But I agree. I think tight end is probably one of our highest priorities of need going into this offseason for sure.
Yeah. The safety talk I don't think is that overhyped, especially if we trade May in the deadline. And then another need that I think that we need is maybe more O-line, because Moses is not I don't think he's going to be permanent. He's just like a plug kind of a thing.
Yeah, I agree. I think Moses is probably a 1 year. I don't want to call him a 1 year rental because he played well last year. I would be open to bringing him back. I think Fant on the last year of his deal, or is he have one? I think Fant might have one more year left. I think you have to bring back one of those two because I don't think you trust Becton to stay healthy. And I'm with you. I think you got to take offensive line, whether that's center or guard. I think if you take center, then you can move McGovern over to guard, and then that kind of solves possibly two areas at the very least. But right tackle is going to be an issue, especially with those guys getting up there in age. I've liked where they've performed so far. Now, let me get your thoughts on this. We were talking about this a little bit earlier in the stream. Do you think that when Becton comes back healthy, is there a shot they try to put him on the right-hand side because of how well Fant has been playing on the left-hand side?
Oh, man.
Right? Hard question.
I don't think so, because Becton is a left tackle. He played left tackle most of his career, all the time in college, all the time in the NFL.
Most of the time in college. He did play right tackle in college as well.
He did? Oh, wow.
He did. The majority was left tackle, but he has played right tackle in college.
Left tackle is his thing. And
sure.
See what happened to Penn High School. He's not playing too well when he got moved to right tackle. And that might be the same thing with Becton.
Well, that's just it.
I think with Moses, most of his years in the NFL, he has been a right tackle. So he would play well in the right tackle spot and then put Becton back. I think they should just keep him there, then move Moses back to right tackle.
Well, Moses is at right tackle. So Fant right now is playing left tackle. So do you decide to roll with Fant on the left-hand side and Becton on the right-hand side? But I've heard people talk about switching sides, tackle-wise, and they liken it to try to wipe your butt with the opposite hand, right? Like if you're a righty, try to wipe with your left hand. You feel way discombobulated.
Well, I wouldn't put Becton on the other side, especially if Fant. I mean, only if Becton, we bring him back, we put him at left tackle. He doesn't play too well. I'd bench him for Fant and maybe move him to right tackle, see how he does. And if he doesn't do well there,
I don't know if I could bench him. I think I'd keep playing Fant, and I'd almost wait until Fant started to play a little bit worse, and then maybe Becton is like, hey, we're just being it's a precautionary thing. He's not benched. We're waiting for him to come back from injury. Wait till he's 100%. I think that's the way I would play it. So maybe that's more realistic. I don't think they'll try him at right and then bench him and then whatever. I think it'll wind up being him at left tackle ultimately. But if Fant is playing well, I think it'd be silly to move off of him right away. Like, I don't think giving Becton a little bit more time to heal is the worst thing.
Yeah, but realistically, they're more than likely when he's going to come back, he's going to just be there.
Yeah, they'll plug him in.
Unless he's playing Pro Bowl level, like taking who's a good edge rusher that we're playing against?
Coming up, who we got?
Coming up.
Bills, we have Dolphins, we got Patriots, Bengals. Bengals. Who they got on the Bengals? Colts.
They got Trey Hendrickson in free agency. So if they can hold back Kyle Van Noy, Hendrickson, and whoever's on the Patriots.
Is Van Noy still on the Dolphins, or did he get cut?
No, he went to the Patriots again, I think.
Oh man, I'm like all discombobulated with my stuff right now. But no, dude, I want to see some good offensive line play. That's what really like burns me up. Absolutely burns me up.
Yeah, because if Zach Wilson can stay there in the pocket and not be not getting killed all game, if he can stay there in the pocket instead of just making these ill-advised throws, stay there, scan, and then see if there's anybody there. If not, run it.
100%. That's what gets me. Dude, that beats me up. I don't know if you were banging your head against the window or whatever.
Oh, no, I stopped watching for like an hour.
Oh, dude, there were opportunities where Zach could have ran for like 4 or 5 yards. Like, the kid's got wheels. Run. Like, just go for it, dude. Don't take a big shot. Slide if you have to slide. Get out of bounds if you have to get out of bounds. But use your feet. That's what makes you a lethal weapon, dude.
Yeah, that's why he was so good. Like, he can stay in the pocket, tuck it downfield if he needs to. But another thing that he was accurate outside the pocket, but he can run as well. So he's like a super mobile threat. It's like he can do everything, but he hasn't really been running too much. And I don't know. I think he's just thinking like through training camp they worked on as soon as you get out of the pocket, don't just run the whole time. You just throw it.
Keep your eyes downfield, kind of a. Yeah, I think they don't want him to run. It feels like that's more of a planned thing. Like, don't run.
All
right, Preteen Bean, thank you so much. Oh, did Green Bean say he was jumping on?
And Green Bean's kind of saying, I'm done for right now. I gotta go to bed.
Fair enough. Teen Bean, hope you guys go to 4-0. Keep scoring 40 points a game. Hopefully that'll rub off on our Jets.
Yeah.
Take it easy, dude.
Right.
Boom. Teen Bean. Always good to have you. Richard Delgado says John Gruden is now on the market. I shouldn't say I'm surprised they got rid of him, but I think there's probably a rift in that locker room, given everything that kind of went on with that. I feel like he's getting pounded with questions, and you're just kind of leaving this black cloud over your franchise. I think what I'd love to know is his contract fully guaranteed still? Like after that, like, is this considered like a conduct detrimental to the team kind of thing, and they wind up pulling the plug on him? Because that was a 10-year, $100 million contract that he might have at least 4 years left on. Ugh. Woof. Not good. Brian Farrell, Urban Meyer hires his replacement. Man, Urban Meyer and John Gruden, both of them, not having a good time. Let's see what else we got. Evan says Gruden resigned. Okay. Gruden resigning is probably the best thing that could happen. I think, like, if you were to fire him, I think that kind of creates more turmoil almost. I wonder who they wind up going with. Did they say who the interim head coach is? Chat, let me know if they did that, because I honestly do not know. I'm not watching football, unfortunately. I should throw it on. All right, we're going to step aside real quick to hear from our sponsors, BetQL and WinView. Want to get an advantage over your sportsbook? You need to download BetQL, the only app you'll need to make smart bets. Their best bets computer model scans over 350,000 unique bets per year to give you the best bet recommendation for every game across all major sports and gives you the reasoning behind why you should place the bet. Their model covers everything from spreads, over-unders, and player prop bets. Don't want to use the model and prefer to do your own research? BetQL has all the necessary tools for your research needs. There's sharp data so you can see who the pros are backing, line movement so you can jump on betting opportunities in real time, team summaries highlighting previous success against the spread and over-under, and team lineup breaking news and injury status updates. Plus, you can save all your picks in one place to track your success and winning streaks, as well as view your rank on their leaderboards. Head to the App Store or Google Play Store now to download BetQL. You can also head to try.betql.co/JetsTalk to get started now. Enter discount code JetsTalk at payment checkout for 25% off any of their subscription offerings. You can find all this information in the description of this video. Make sure to check out their BetMGM offer in the description in order to receive a free year of BetQL. Also, check out their sportsbook offers page if you live in any of the eligible states to claim free offers upon signing up for one of the many sportsbooks listed. Don't miss out on your chance to beat your sportsbook this football season.
Dominating your fantasy league? Prove it.
Shaping up to be a great game between these two teams. There's no telling what might happen.
Enhance the game with 3 easy steps. Predict, compete, and win. Start now and play your first $20 risk-free. Only on WinView.
Our buddy Brendan drops in, says, contracts often have a damage clause, talking about Jon Gruden, in these cases where team doesn't have to pay a player or coach in the event they do something majorly stupid. That seems like it would make the most sense for me. NY Jets fan 4 says Mike Mayock is the new head coach. Is that actually true? Is that what's going on? It wouldn't shock me. I like Mayock a lot. What else we got going on in the chat? Sorry, just trying to catch back up here. Gase is going to kill as the interim Raiders head coach. Oh, geez. Could you imagine him going over there? That would be brutal. Green Bean says, can we just take solace in the fact that all the drama is not on the Jets? The winds have changed, my friends. Yeah, dude. Thank goodness for Urban Meyer. Thank goodness for Jon Gruden. Not that you want to see what they did happen, but I'm certainly glad it's not happening to the New York Jets. Like, the Jets are kind of like a step back, which is nice. And I think the New York tabloids too also know that the Jets are like, they're a young team. Like, we're not like, it's not like Sal is on the hot seat just yet. I don't even think LaFleur is on the hot seat just yet. Like, I think people are probably upset with how LaFleur has called games and the offensive production in the first half of games specifically. Really, really not good. All right. I'm seeing a lot of comments of Adam Gase being the interim head coach, and now I need to verify if this is like actually true. Because this is going to drive me absolutely bonkers. Can't be, right? That's not a thing. I don't think so. I don't believe so. What if Gase is Sal in a costume? Comes out on Halloween. Boom! All right. Let's bring up the Google Voice again. Let's get some more calls. We got about 25 minutes left in the stream. Brian says it's a joke. Damn. I was going to say, why would you bring in Adam Gase? I feel like Adam Gase is probably done as an NFL head coach. Where's the stream? Bam. Just yet. One more loss. Fire. Bring back Gase. No, Steven, stop that. I don't want to see that. Knobcraft says, I wasn't expecting a lot of wins from the Jets, but discipline would be nice. Maybe less ugly losses. Yeah, it felt like we haven't been competitive for some of these, right? Like, I think the Broncos one was obviously awful. The Patriot one felt like we could have been competitive if it were not for Zach Wilson. This past week, really, it didn't feel as competitive as it should have felt. Like, I felt like the Jets team overall played all right with the exception of Zach Wilson and the offense. Like, you get the ball moving a little bit, you're in that game. You don't get that roughing the passer call. Maybe they don't score the first time down the field. Not good. Not good. Hit my microphone and everything. What else we got going on here? JW says Trevor Lawrence isn't doing great either. No, he really hasn't played that well. But he has been playing better than Zach right now. Green Bean says, see you tomorrow, Ryan and company. Have a good night, Jet fans. See you later, Green Bean. See you tomorrow. Knob says, even the win in Tennessee looked like a loss. Tennessee just wanted to lose more. It felt like we couldn't seal the deal, right? Zach missed that 3rd and 10. Wide open Corey Davis. They had the opportunity on the goal line to seal it. Couldn't do it. It's not good. It is not good. Chronozone says, in all honesty, I don't think things are as bad as they seem. It's just going to take some time for everything to come together. That's sort of where I'm on board with like all this. Like, you got a young team. Just kind of sit back, be excited about the things you can be excited about. Don't be all doom and gloom. Because look, Zach is making some interesting plays. We've seen some nice flashes from our young players. But it's going to take some time to gel, get it all together. We'll figure it out. Back-to-back comments on the screen. He says, center and tight end are the way to go in the draft. I'm not too worried about pass rusher. Better to grab one in the second along with the safety. I'm fine with that. You want to go tight end and center in the draft. My only issue is that tight ends don't generally go that high with where I think we're going to pick. So maybe we trade down, grab a center and a tight end. Last mock draft I saw, I think Tankathon had Linderbaum going around 14, 15. So then I would pull the trigger with the Seahawks pick for him. Tight end, I don't know who the top tight ends are. I know this is a really deep tight end draft. So the argument could possibly be made that you don't take a tight end early because there's so much depth across the board here. Grabbing safety in the second. I would almost be okay with punting on safety. Give Ashton Davis a year as a starter. Bring back LaMarcus Joyner. I think I might go that route. Maybe you bring in a developmental one. I would safety in the third, maybe, unless you're like really in love with someone. Brian Farrell says, when is Jarrett Davis coming back? I think Salah just said that he's hoping to have him back after the bye for the Patriot game. Him and Marcus May. That's what they've been kind of talking about. Steven says, hunker down, fellas. We're going back into tank for picks. There's always next year. I don't want to tank for picks. I don't care. Draft position does not matter to me at all. There's no player that is more important in the draft than getting wins for your rookie quarterback, your team, and building up this team overall. I don't care. We have the quarterback now. It's a totally different story. Last year, didn't have the quarterback, bottom out. 100% all for bottoming out. This just doesn't feel the same way. And it doesn't feel like there's necessarily a generational prospect. Like, there's some really good prospects, but I think the Jets are going to we have 2 first-round picks. We're going to have an opportunity to take a really good player with both the Seattle pick and the Jets pick. So I will not root for the tank, except maybe like the last week or 2 of the season, if there's teams resting starters. If the Bills and Bucks are resting their starters the last weeks of the season, I would be fine, because those are hollow wins at that point if you're playing backups. It's just like fluff games. Michael says, I think the defense has improved so much, even with all the injuries. If you told me before the season we could shore up that side of the ball and have some bright spots on O, I'd take that deal. Yeah. No, I didn't think the defense was going to be very good. I thought we were going to lose a lot of high-scoring games because of our secondary, and that really hasn't been the case so far. Now, our offense has been so inept that teams haven't had to score a lot of points on us. I think that is probably something we need to take into account. I haven't felt like we've faced a really high-octane team yet. Like when we face the Bills, that'll be a real tough challenge. I think they're going to just smoke us. That could be like a 45-17 kind of game. That'll be the first high-powered offense that I think we really go up against. I think if our offense were to play more competitively, then you'd start seeing some of these other teams throw a little bit more. Like I think when the Falcons were up 17-0, that game felt like it was over. It felt like it was done. Like they didn't need to push the ball down the field. They could just run clock, try to eat up as much time as possible. So I don't know. I think I am happy with how the defense is played. I'm taking it with a little grain of salt because of how bad the offense is played. If we could see more offense, then maybe we could see some pressure on our defense. Or we'll see an even better defense because then they'll be able to pin their ears back and go after the quarterback. That's really what I want to see. Elijah Moore is too small of a target. Unleash Mims. Becton was saying that too. Not about Elijah Moore, but unleash Mims. Look, Elijah Moore is not real big, but neither is Tyreek Hill. There's a lot of receivers around the league. You can get by with really fast, crisp routes. And I think Elijah Moore can be that. I think this past week was more about getting him worked back into the offense. I think maybe we'll see him with a large role going into the Patriot game. FM says that Seattle pick might be a top 10 pick. Yeah, I'm expecting top 15 because from what I've heard, there's rumors that they think Wilson might be back after 4 weeks. That Seattle defense is so bad, though. Even with Wilson back, I don't know how competitive they're really going to be. But yeah, it could definitely be a top 10 pick. If the Jets wind up with 2 top 10 picks, wow. That would be something special. That's how you change your franchise. 2 top 10 picks and hitting on both of them. That is huge. FM says, May for O.J. Howard would be a good trade for both squads. 100%. I would do that in a heartbeat. I would eat some of Marcus May's contract to facilitate that trade. And I don't think O.J. Howard is a great tight end by any stretch of the imagination, but his upside, while he's buried on the Bucs, I think give us an option at tight end. There's a little bit of trade camaraderie with the Bucs right now because we sent McClendon down there last year. That feels like the most likely of trades. I think Njoku is too valuable to the Browns that they won't let him go in a year that they're hoping to be in the Super Bowl conversation, where O.J. Howard is so, they got Brait, they got Gronk, I think, and they have like 3 great wide receivers. When you're talking about Antonio Brown being your number 3 and you have Godwin and Evans as your top 2, like you don't need the 3rd tight end. you can let go of him. And if May can really help that secondary, which I think he can, that would be the move I'd make. I would prefer O.J. Howard over a draft pick, I think, because I don't think the draft pick for May would be that good given everything that's going on with his DUI and not telling the Jets and things like that. I like it. I like it a lot. Adam says we need the center from Iowa. Linderbaum. Yes. He is top on my list. Not top 10, but he's the top player I would like the Jets to acquire in this draft. I don't know how you wind up doing it, where you wind up picking him, when you wind up picking him, but I would like Douglas to make that selection. Rockaway Archie says, first overall could get us a boatload of future picks. It could, but I do not want first overall pick. I want wins. If we somehow wind up with the first overall pick while winning, all about it. The only thing is there's not a lot of good quarterbacks this year. So the first pick may not be as valuable as you may have hoped it would be. Let's see. Tommy R says, I'm concerned that Saleh and LaFleur are showing signs of stubbornness that were so obvious under Giggs. Maybe. I'd be lying if I said there wasn't a thought to that in my head. I do think that there is some level of stubbornness with all players, but I think them knowing Tevin Coleman from their time together in Atlanta, from their time together in San Francisco, and now with the New York Jets, I think seeing Michael Carter take more snaps away from him is kind of their way of not being stubborn. I think Michael Carter has earned those reps. Now, if you're talking about the Mims thing specifically, I think there's maybe something there for that. I think Mims maybe is just not overly personable, and maybe he didn't study the playbook. Maybe he is behind the way we've all heard. You don't want his play on the field causing potential turnovers for Zach Wilson because he's running the wrong routes. Now, my counter argument to agree with you is they should build plays designed for Mims, where it's like, hey, you are running this route on this play. Like, that's what it is. You're not open, we're going to someone else. But I think they should be utilizing him more. Let's see. throw Mims in at tight end or on tight end routes, I guess. Line him up like in the slot almost. See, Eric Fox, he's not too thrilled with the OJ Howard talk. What has OJ Howard ever done? He hasn't. He really hasn't done a whole lot since he's been in the league. This is more of a, hey, we're not holding on to May long term. So you got to get something. And do you want to take a stab at a draft pick, or do you want a guy that was drafted, 19th or 20th overall as a tight end? I would roll the dice on an OJ Howard over, like, say, what do you get, a 4th round pick? 4th round pick to me doesn't mean a whole lot, considering how much we got going on right now.
Call from
Nick.
Hey, what's good, dude? Welcome to the cockpit.
Dude, what's going on? I want my sleep back from Sunday, but whatever. It's not going to happen.
Dude, how much time have we wasted over the last 10 years watching this team that you'll just never get back? That it's the one thing you can never get refunded for. And it's the one thing the Jets steal from us every season.
Yeah, like, I was so excited to wake up at 9 a.m. and watch this game and to just waste 3 hours of my life when I could have gotten a lot more sleep after a hungover Saturday night. So maybe it was a better idea, but what the hell do I know?
No, dude, you're right. I think a lot of Jet fans feel that way. We just didn't show up.
Yeah. I don't know about you, Ryan, but I'm not saying fire Saleh, because I think Saleh's going to be a good coach, but like, I feel like the way Saleh's been handling the incompetence on the field, like during the game, is just weird to me. Like, Saleh, like, doesn't seem like he has an issue with any of the play calling. I mean, like, there was that like 8-minute drive where they drove all the way down the field, and all they had to do was punch it for a touchdown, and we were back in the game, and we had to settle for a field goal after a dumbass screenplay call that got blown up. And then after we make the field goal, Saleh's like high-fiving the guys on the sideline, like slapping them on the butts, like, yeah, we finally did. Like, dude, you're still down 3 possessions and you're getting your ass kicked. Like, it's just weird. Like, how, like, I don't like how he's not really holding guys accountable right now. I don't know about you.
So Rockaway Archie actually said the exact thing I was thinking right now. I just put it up on the screen. I'll read it to you. Rockaway Archie says, I just hope the friendship between Saleh and LaFleur won't stand in the way of Saleh replacing LaFleur if it comes down to it. And I think that is huge. And I hope that doesn't impact how they go about their business. I do think LaFleur can be the guy, and I'm fine with letting him kind of iron it out. And I think that's kind of where Saleh is for me, like where you were saying he's excited for the guys coming off the field on a field goal when they should have gotten a touchdown. And I do agree with that, but I don't think it's Saleh's place to jump in and say, hey, do this on offense. Hey, do that. Now, maybe he goes to LaFleur at halftime and says, yo, let's throw Mims in. Let's just give it a shot. Like, we got to create a spark. And I think that's something to be said in private. Yeah. I don't think it's something you do in like on the field. I think Saleh, if he were to say something, would say something on defense like, hey, let's not put the D end on the tight end for this one.
Right, yeah. Oh my God! What the hell was that about? I don't know.
I was pulling my hair out when I watched that. And I was like, 91. I was like, that's John Franklin Myers. Why the hell is John Franklin Myers in coverage? Like, this makes no sense. Oh man, there's no part of me.
Yeah, like it's just. I mean, I really hope that Saleh is like holding guys accountable behind the scenes, because I understand during these press conferences, like he's not going to just like flame the guys out in public and just like single them out on these post-game pressers. But like, I really hope that like in the locker room after the game that he's like, you know, like fighting a flame under these guys, because that's really the real reason Saleh was hired, was to like light a fire in the locker room and get these guys ready to play every single week, hold guys accountable, like, you know, discipline. And I feel like we just haven't seen a lot of that. Like,
I think we haven't seen the angry. We haven't seen the angry Saleh yet. Like, I think you will get to that point. I think he understands it's a young team and there's going to be growing pains, and you probably don't want to get mad at Zach Wilson, or you don't want to like alienate guys too much. Like, you want to try and help build them up. And him coming in here was a culture changer. I think holding guys responsible is certainly part of that. But I think letting them work through their growing pains is also something that is okay to do, while still commanding like, hey, look, we want to see this. This has to get better. Look, the next time you go out there, don't get caught doing this. Like that. Those are sort of where I want to see Saleh be. And I will say this. This defense, after losing Lawson and Curry, is playing way better than I ever thought it would, especially given our secondary. Like, I thought our secondary was going to be a problem all season, and it really, for the most part, has not been. So I do think there is a motivating growth factor there. I think the offensive side of the ball is a weird, tricky part for him, and I think he just has to trust that LaFleur will figure it out. And I don't know, do you give LaFleur 2 years? I mean, you got to hope that you see more change from this point on through the rest of the season, that you see some growth, because you don't want to change offensive systems on Zach Wilson. You'd love to see him kind of figure that out and play, you know, better and better.
Like, that's the thing. Like, even if you hire LaFleur after one season, like, Zach Wilson's going to be changing him in his second year. And that's really, in my opinion, like, the second year of a quarterback is the most important year of their career, because this is the year where they really, you know, start to get in a rhythm and start to really know the offense and start to really like get command of the whole team. But at the same time, dude, like these play calls by LaFleur, like what in the living hell is he doing? I mean, it seems like every first down is a run straight up the middle for like 2-3 yards, and that's kind of what we saw all last year and the year before. Like, it's just weird. Like, there's not a lot of creativity that I was hoping for, and it doesn't seem like he's putting Zach Wilson in a position to succeed. Like, it's just weird. These play calls, especially on third down, I don't know. It's just weird. Like, screen passes to Ryan Griffin on 3rd and 12 when you're down by 3 touchdowns. Like, it's just. I just don't know. Like, what is going on?
For me, LaFleur, the first half struggles, I think they fall on Zach more than LaFleur, and maybe I'm wrong thinking that way, but Zach is being inaccurate. He's not completing passes, so that's kind of stalling us out, right? Like, I'm fine with the run up the middle. I would like to see a screenplay occasionally to Michael Carter or to Elijah Moore or to Berrios. Like, those guys are all crafty enough after the catch that I think they would be able to create some yak. I do like the reasonable downs and distances. Like, when you can get into a 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, like, those are reasonable downs and distances. When you're a 3rd and 8 or 3rd and 10 or 3rd and 12, because maybe you do a play action on the first play, you go long, and then it winds up missing. Now you're on 2nd and 10. So now are you going to run the ball to try and get some yardage before your 3rd down? Because I feel like they're going to sniff that out pretty easily. It's tough. It's a chess match.
And I'm glad you brought up Elijah Moore, because, like, everyone's talking about Denzel Mims, and rightfully so. I don't know what's going on with him. I mean, 120-yard playoff and he's immediately off the field. But like, dude, why is nobody talking about how Elijah Moore has done virtually nothing in this offense when he was the story of training camp? Like, remember, like in the off season when like every tweet from Connor Hughes and Samini and all these beat reporters is that Elijah Moore is the guy. Like, he's dominating training camp. He's dominating the offense. It's always Zach to Moore. Like, that's going to be like a terrific combination this season. And we haven't seen any of it. Like, they just can't get him the ball. It's weird. Like
it's super frustrating because I don't know if you saw the stat, but Denzel Mims has more yardage than Elijah Moore does on the season. And Denzel Mims has like 3 catches. It's like absolutely ridiculous. He's got it. They have to get their playmakers involved. And whether that's Zach hitting his playmakers or LaFleur scheming or creating plays specifically for those playmakers, because Zach right now is just forcing the ball to Corey Davis, and it's driving me crazy.
Oh, God.
I love Corey Davis. I'm a big Corey Davis fan. He's played really well. But like Zach, you got to look another way.
Yeah, like it seems like Corey Davis, like rightfully so, and he's Zach's go-to target. They have a great chemistry, but like, dude, you can't be like throwing him the ball every single play if there are 3 guys around him. Like, remember that play against the Patriots where there were like 3 guys around Corey Davis and Zach like desperately tried to get the ball in there, and then it got tipped in the air, and like, they got picked off. Like, it's just like Corey Davis, like as far as training camp and everything goes, like he really didn't prove that he's like without a doubt the best receiver on this team. I mean, he proved that he's good, but like I really haven't seen like stuff from Corey Davis that makes me say he's 100% better than Mims and Moore and Cole combined. Like, it's just weird that they keep force-feeding him the ball. I don't know if that's Wilson's fault. I don't know if that's Moore's fault. But like,
it's interesting because I don't know if he's designed those plays to specifically take advantage of Corey Davis, and that's just his like Wilson's first look. I do think Davis is our best receiver, so I'm fine with him getting more targets. But there's situations with Elijah Moore where I agree. You hear everything about him preseason or through training camp. This guy's going to be incredible. He's just never like you never get him the ball.
Short passes. And for some reason, like the short passes for Zach Wilson are harder than the long passes. I don't know if you noticed that. Like, he's just like these like quick screen passes and these quick curl routes. Like, Zach Wilson just not hitting them for some reason. Like, he's really struggling in the short passing game. Like, it's weird.
Yeah, which throws me for a loop because I felt like, I know it's preseason, but I felt like in the preseason this guy was like dialed in, hitting every single target every single time he had some time in the pocket. And I know defenses get a little harder, but even still, dude, if you had told me accuracy was going to be Zach Wilson's issue, I would have been like, no way. It's going to be the speed of the game. Like, that's going to be the issue for him.
Yeah, like, it's weird. Like, he had the arm strength, obviously, but for some reason, he's just not hitting them. I don't know.
Dude, thank you so much for the call.
Hey, Jay,
I'm going to get out of here.
Hopefully you get better. See you.
JETS, dude. Thank you so much. You've been ejected from the cockpit. All right, we have reached the end of our stream tonight. Boys, it has been a lot of fun. I'll be here tomorrow, 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock with Green Bean and O'Leary. I want to hear their thoughts. I want to hear your thoughts. You guys tune into us tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. And go Jets. Want to get an advantage over... Whoops.
Pulls the trigger.